Hello, everybody, and welcome back once again to the We Know Traitors podcast over here on RHAP. I'm your host, the Duke of Deception, Pooya and Scally. With me, my lovely co-host, Brian Scally. We are here joined by the latest person banished from Traitors Canada with question mark, the most faithful of the faithful I'm seeing.
What?
Out. What? Jericho, how are you doing?
You know what? I'm good. Watching it last night was a little bit tough, but hey, I'm still alive technically, so I'm here.
That's good. Yeah, definitely banished, but not forgotten, Jericho. This is still shocking me. I feel like, only a week ago, we were like, Jericho, safest player on the board, most faithful of the faithful. I would have bet any amount of money you would not have been banished. How did this happen?
You know what? The beauty about this show and this cast is that we're so chaotic. You could be totally okay one day, the next day, your head is on the chopping block. And I think that just combining all these different personalities, we all have various different experiences and opinions. So mixing that all together makes a really chaotic combination. So that's what you kind of just saw.
Yeah, it's been a great recipe for disaster and entertainment, and we've been very much here for it. Now, Jericho, you seem to be the most vocal after the departure of Kevin, after the departure of Omer. You seem to be the most vocal. No, but we have to pull the cord on this Coco thing. And then we see you back off of it completely here. Walk us through that.
Okay, let me walk you through it. Okay, so basically, Coco was someone that was on my mind from the beginning. When I say beginning, the first person I ever said who was a traitor was Coco. So I was already onto it. Kevin never came up to me and told me that we were all going after Coco. He was telling Omer, you should have came to me. I would have done your dirty work for you, definitely. But you know what? I was surrounded by a lot of people who were all for Coco, who really believed in Coco. And during the graves, one thing that really stood out to me were the people who were saving me. And those people were like Hollywood, Jamal, Dom, Shaughnessy. So I really had faith and trust in those people. And when they're coming up to you and they're like clear faithfuls in my head telling you, hey, it's not Coco, you kind of just start losing your own thoughts and opinions, and you kind of lose track of what you feel. And I wish that I was more so like, stuck to my guns and like had that killer instinct. But I really felt like it was a team game and I wanted to really listen to other people's opinions, even if it was, hindering my own. But it's a game, man. Coco's doing really, really well at playing, so I can't blame her.
Yeah, you had that close brush with death down in the graves. And so, there was the theory if people were a little bit quieter there. Once you had heard that, how did you change your game moving forward?
You know what's crazy? Half the reason why I gave my shield to Jamal was because I thought I was good. Coming into that morning, actually, I slept better than having the shield on night one. So I was like, I feel good. Like, a part of it too was I felt like I had built good connections, even if it was just the beginning. I felt like I was pretty much good with everyone. And you saw that when people said, oh, we trust Jericho 100%, which I still actually don't know why they said that, because I really wasn't doing that much to make them trust me. I was minding my own business and then talking to people when I wanted to talk to people, but we digress. So basically, once I found out I was one of the 4 people in the grave, like I lost my mind. I was so paranoid that these traitors finally like saw me, and I thought I was so hidden, but clearly not. So then after that, my entire goal and purpose was just to get out traitors. So even if it was at the detriment to my own game, which was, and I probably should have not gone so crazy and, switched my vote to Kevin when I wanted out Coco, and then switched my vote to Omer when I wanted out Coco. Like, there's so many different things, and I wanted to really just get out traitors after that because I had been so paranoid that they were coming after me.
How did it feel when Rhea gets up there and announces herself to be a traitor?
Honestly, like I had never felt so shell shocked in my life. And coming into that day, everyone was telling me Rhea's got to go. And you know what's crazy? In hindsight, when I watched the show and when I look back, Rhea did not tell anyone else to vote at Omer besides like me and Natalie. So if anyone should be upset, it's me and Natalie. Specifically also me because we drank the water. I came into the game with a logical mind and I said, look, Rhea, she's a great human. Just sometimes she acts emotionally, but I still love her and I know that in this game I need someone like her still here to help me. And when everyone was telling me to get rid of her and vote her out, I was like, no, we still have to focus on the correct traitor, which is Coco. And when I was telling everyone, they all were like, no, like you need to look at the bigger picture. Kevin would never do that. I was a viewer but in real time. Like I was actually one of you guys, but just in real life sitting there. Like you saw the reaction when Lisette in Hollywood said, we don't think it's Coco. Like I actually was like, I was like quivering. I was like, no, this isn't real. But yeah, no, I was shocked because I was going so hard to save Rhea. But at the end of the day, the Traitors did such a great job. And I was like, they really had that strategic mind and I was impressed.
So, you did defend Rhea at that round table, got called out a little bit. Did you know immediately this was going to be really bad for your game? Did you expect all of the, your name coming up at the next round?
I knew that it would put me in a particularly difficult situation. I just thought that my heart was so against getting out a traitor, and I really was like, guys, we need to look at the bigger picture. And I felt like a lot of the time, especially with our cast, we like to act emotionally and sporadically and just really random. Like we can't come with the same consensus and we can't have the same mind throughout the entire day. We always need to switch it up. The only time where they had the same mind and the same theory throughout the day was like the day I left. But like we always switched our minds, and I thought that I needed to, make everyone really look at the bigger picture. But I didn't know that she was going to go up there and say she was a traitor. If I had known that, I would have calmed down a little bit. Maybe I would have hidden a little bit. I would have hidden behind my chalkboard. I would have maybe prepared and jumped around when everyone was jumping around. I was shocked.
Jericho, you opt to go for the shield in that previous mission,
Yep.
Individually minded. I do appreciate that, watching a faithful play, because at the end of the day, there's only 3 or 4 of you that can get there, right?
Shocked that none of them wanted what?
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Now, well, the thing is, you made the choice, right? Good choice. And luckily for you, also there's like 2 people could have gone for it. So like it blame wouldn't fall on one person anyway. However, why did you confess to it?
Great question. I'm still thinking about that to this day while I confess to it. You know what's crazy? You don't really have a lot of time to think. And honestly, my head was already on the chopping block coming into that breakfast just because of what happened the night before. So coming into that day, I honestly had forgotten about that shield moment. So when Meredith asked me, I was like, oh. But I didn't want to tell Meredith because Meredith is the most chaotic and sporadic player here. And if I were to tell her, she would go around being like, Jericho took the shield, Jericho took the shield. So I wanted to tell it where everyone was around just so they could hear it from myself. But like I said, I didn't really have a thought. I was just like, I'm just going to tell them because I don't care. But to be honest with you, the shield part wasn't a big detriment to my game. People thought I was saying I got a shield to make myself look faithful, which was like so crazy to me. And like I was just already associated with Rhea, so everything was already like just too much. I did myself dirty. Yeah, you're right.
When you go to breakfast and you tell Dom, basically, I'll tell you later because there are some people in here that I don't want to talk in front of. Being the only person is Meredith.
Yeah.
What was your relationship like with Meredith that you would not tell her that you had the shield?
You know what's crazy is that the first car ride was to the first mission was me, Thompson, Omer, and Meredith. And we all had a really good vibe with each other at that time. But my issue with Meredith is that she was acting the most traitorous, even though she was a faithful, she was acting like a traitorous faithful. So if we were having a conversation one day, I would hear back saying that she told like 7 different people. And it's kind of like, what? She would go around whispering with other people. Like, it was the most obvious traitorous behavior, but like people were just like, oh, she's just that's just her. But it was so like chaotic and sporadic. So that's when I was kind of like, I don't really want to play with someone who's this chaotic. And then Omar even told me like, listen, we can't really trust her. She was also throwing my name around early on, so he was like a lot.
So interestingly enough, we do see a little early on in the season, there's this little group, and I don't remember exactly who was in this group, but I feel like I feel like I remember you having a confessional talking about how these are your guys that you feel good about. And listen, one of them was Kevin, right?
Mm-hmm.
The other was Omer, and they go back to back. I can't imagine, and Thompson also got murdered. So where did you feel like what was, and then Rhea's exposed. So like, I don't,
I will say,
time you get to this point, yeah.
My friends were going home back to back to back. I was literally like, all my friends are gone. Yeah, no, I connected with Kevin, Omer, and Thompson right away. They're like still my friends for life. Like I love them to pieces. I didn't want Kevin to go home that night that he did end up going home. I wanted Coco to go home. But to be honest, I'm surprised that not enough people voted him that time. Like there was only a few votes. So that was part of the reason why I had switched up, because I thought more people would have switched up. And plus also I was also close with the people who were like near me in the round table. So that was like Jamal, Hollywood, Shaughnessy. So like that was kind of like the vibe that they were going with. So I had felt like that was the right vibe at that moment, especially because Hollywood was coming up to me with Kevin theories. So I wish that I had played more of like a loyal to the boys type of game, but I was kind of just trying to get out these traitors, and seeing them go one after the other was actually like heartbreaking. I was like losing morale with each person going home. I was like, Kevin's gone, Thompson, Omer, even Rhea, and even Shaughnessy, who I was close with. I was like, okay, great, I'm on an island. Let's do it.
Did the adrenaline rush from getting out Kevin and seeing that he was in fact a traitor impact your game moving forward in terms of like, all right, now I have to start looking at my allies a little bit more?
Oh, good question. No, I think
Okay.
what impacted me mostly in terms of like what happened afterwards with like Omer and stuff like that was Rhea. Like Rhea was the first person that I connected with like right off the bat, and the person who was always telling me we're good and solidifying things with me like one on one. And no one else was really doing that with me. She was the only one. So in my head, if you're the only person here who's telling me you're my number one and building this trust, saying we're going to the end, you're my number one for real. Like we're gonna ride this out. And I was so gung ho on Coco that entire day, like every single moment of that day. It was only until the last 5 to 10 minutes. Even Jamal was telling me to let's go after Omer in the morning, and I said no. It was only the last 5 minutes when Rhea told me, and she was the only one who could convince me because she was the person that I was like closest with. So I was willing to take a back seat if it meant that we could get out Coco tomorrow, even though it still didn't make sense for my game. I know, but I was trying to build like a team game, and I was trying to listen to other people when I should have just listened to myself.
Were you familiar with any of the reality TV alum that were on your season when the game first started?
I knew obviously I knew Kevin, loved this Big Brother game. I knew Homer, I knew Venus, and then a little bit of Ty. I didn't watch a season, but a little bit. But yeah, coming in, I knew those four, and I was like, let me just work with these people because they're smart as hell, and they're gonna help me get through this game. And I honestly bonded with them also mostly with just like personality wise. Like even if they weren't reality TV like people, I think I would have just been friends with them right off the bat based on the cast. So it just worked that they were reality TV people, and they just like helped me with my game, and I felt protected by them in a way.
when that protection finally ends and you do find yourself going home, Jericho, whose vote stung the most?
Ooh. I'm trying to think back because everyone basically voted for me. I think the one that stung the most would be, they didn't really show it, but I was really close with Sarah Nicole. So that vote was emotional. I definitely understood it. So it wasn't like I wasn't like, oh, come on. But I respected her game, and then she's such a good game player. So I was gutted that she voted for me, but that one probably hurt the most. I was also surprised with Dom because he was like really close with me. And I was just surprised that he was willing to, vote out someone he was close with, so close to the end of the game. I would have tried to help him at least.
If you were to go back and play this game all over again, what are the lessons you've learned that would switch up your game? What would change?
Oh my gosh, maybe not be so faithful of the faithfuls. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't. I honestly wasn't even trying to be the most faithful. Just people were like, who do we trust? Jericho. And I was like, guys, can we like switch the topic a little bit here? Like, I was murder suspect number one. People were like, I think you're going tonight. I'm like, I think I am too. Like, they just all thought I was getting murdered. I thought I was getting murdered. So I think that if I were to play again, I would just be more I would try my best to be like in the middle, not too hated, not too liked, but it's really hard. It depends on the cast. Yeah.
What was your reaction to finding out after the season that Chala and Meredith were actually a married couple coming into the game?
You know what's so funny? I saw them as like a pair, as a duo in the game, but like not that type of duo. But I just saw them like as really close people. I was so surprised because I just never saw that coming. I thought Meredith had a husband, so I didn't know what was happening. But who I did think was related that is so far-fetched that I didn't say it like in public because I trusted both of them, and it was so random, but I just felt like they had some sort of I don't know what type of family member they were going to be, but I thought Thompson and Sarah Nicole were related.
Oh.
I'm like, what? But there's a moment where you see us in breakfast where it's like me, Sarah Nicole, and Thompson, and then she's telling us about the pictures on the wall. And I was like, they seem really close right now. Like, why? they just were.
Well, Jericho, this has been an absolute delight. Thank you for giving us your time. Sad to see you go, but happy to see that you seem to have a very positive experience overall.
Yeah, I mean, like, to be chosen to be on this cast is so crazy, especially when I look at who's on here. I don't even know how I made it on the list, so I'm so grateful to be on here, and then to make it as far as I did, I'm just super grateful. So thanks for talking with me. I really appreciate it.
Please. And where can people find you online, Jericho, if they want to keep up with you?
Yeah, so Instagram, first name Jericho, Jericho. My last name Dacillo on Instagram. And then TikTok, the same. So follow me Instagram and TikTok and keep up with my life.
Perfect. Thank you, Jericho. Take care.
All right, thanks so much.
This is RHAP. We know reality TV.